Welcome to the Private Practice Survival Guide podcast with your host, Brandon Seigel. I'm a published author, speaker, entrepreneur, and private practice strategist dedicated to transforming the way that healthcare functions. This podcast is all about empowering you to create the change you want to see. Let's dive in. Welcome back. I hope you're coming back. So in this quick tip episode, we're talking about why EMR transition should be over 60 days long. Because we want to be prepared. Because we want our money in our pocket as streamlined as possible. We want to limit disruption. We want our patients to be happy. But you know what? Let's dive into more detail. So I recommend a 60 plus day transition because transitioning to a new EMR, it's complex. It requires planning. It requires execution. And we want to ensure minimal disruption. We want to make sure that we are not affecting our patient care. We want to make sure that we're not affecting our patient experience. We want to make sure that we're not affecting our billing. We want to make sure that we're not affecting our operations. And what I want you to do is I want you to visualize a pressure cooker. And I want you to put your employee's head in that pressure cooker. And every day below 60 days, you're increasing the intensity on that employee. A transition period longer than 60 days is often necessary because we can address multifaceted challenges and we can build a change management strategy that streamlines efficiency, optimizes impact, and reduces the stress and the pressure on your team and your patients. So the reasons I recommend a longer transition, one, comprehensive needs assessment. You need to pick your vendor smartly. We need to measure 10 times before we cut once on this one. So a thorough evaluation of your practice's workflow, your data requirements and staff, it's going to help you align operational goals. And by researching, demoing, negotiating, interviewing existing clients, I want you working on that at least 1 to 2 months to secure a cost-effective and suitable system. That's the absolute minimum. And that I don't even do, and I don't count that in the 60-day transition. 60-day transition, that 60 days starts once you've signed your contract with the EMR. And to be honest, I think 60 days is still too short. I would go 90. So our whole process is 6 months most likely. We need to look at the data migration complexity. We need to look at what exporting, cleaning, mapping, implementing, importing, patient records, billing data, clinical notes, what that looks like. We need to see what multifaceted steps there are, what can be and can't be exported. We need to test and validate the data. We need to make sure it is real. We need to make sure it's clean. So when I look at an EMR, the first thing I'm looking at is clean data. I want clean data. That's clean bill of health. That's every single note is audited cleanly. Every single claim is clean. Every ERA is posted clean. Every responsibility, because the cleaner the data, the better the reporting we can do. The better the analysis we can have, and the better our decision-making will be. We need time for payer enrollment and EDI setup. We may have to re-enroll for EDI and ERA. That setup can take anywhere from 4 or 6 weeks or longer, depending. So understanding what that looks like and recognize typically EDI is quick, but ERA is slower. And I want to be clear, if you're going to manually post your ERAs, it's going to take you time. So we also have to recognize staff training and adaptation. What is the technology? How are these changes happening? What is comprehensive training for clinical and administrative staff tailored for each role? How does it look like? How do we cross-train people? How do we allow time for hands-on training and practice follow-up training and all those different things? And then we have to test our pilot phases. We have to conduct end-to-end critical functions. What does claim submission look like? What does ERA look like? What does documentation look like? What does the patient portal look like? What's the involvement of the patient? What can they do? What can't they do? What are the privileges that must be assigned? Do we have super users, clinical users, administrative users? You get my point? There's a lot. Don't be short-sighted. Plan, prepare, and practice. This is not something to mess around with. So one of the things that we got to recognize is like, why? We need to customize our workflow sometime. We need to be able to configure that EMR in a way that works for us. See, I am all about being type A, and part of being type A is that I have an efficiency factor. My efficiency factor is configuring workflow that makes sense. How we chart, how we document, how we bill, how we engage, how we alert. There's time-sensitive functionality. We have to have that dialed in. January 28th through the 31st, 2026. Coral Gables, Florida. Your business is on the track. Are you ready to hit top speed? The Growth Code Conference is your pit stop for 4 days of proven strategies, precision leadership tools, and a tuned-up growth plan. Leave the slow lane behind and accelerate toward your best season yet. Register now at growthcodeconference.com. Iterative adjustments based on staff feedback are critical and crucial. We need staff to say, this feels good, this doesn't feel good. Think about it. When someone builds a car, do you think they just build it and they go? No. When they build an update, they have people test it. This is a process. We're changing our operating system. Do you recognize that? If you changed from Windows to Apple, would that be an operating differential? Yes. That would take time. When you change EMRs, there's an operating system that you're changing. Your function will look different. You must ensure that you have regulatory compliance, security set up. You know, back in the day, it used to be server-based EMRs. Now we're on to more cloud, but still, we need our IT looking at everything, all the compliance factors, the audit trails, the backups, the encryption, the role-based approvals, all those different things, validating that everything is being done right, that everything is being done compliant. Because at the end of the day, the practice owner is stuck with the bill. We need to also financially plan. We have to have cash flow management. What are the delays in payments? What is the increase in expenses? How will this change impact our profitability in short term versus long term? A longer timeline allows that practice to monitor cash flow and address payer or billing issues before going live. Parallel operations, contingency planning. We want to run 2 systems for a 90-day overlap automatically. So once we go live, we're handling all of the old systems claims that went out with ERAs and payment and reconciling. Everything that happens in the new system is new. So April 1st, we go live, only new stuff go in that new system. If ERAs get pre-populated in your old system or in your new system, you're going to export it and import it into your old system. Clean data. Post-go live stabilization and optimization. The first 30 to 60 days after go live are critical. We need to expect the unexpected. I think Big Brother says that. Expect the unexpected. Data discrepancy, staffing errors, payer rejection, hire denials, internet changes, whatever that may be. Expect the unexpected. So, in my opinion, there are 3 primary benefits to a longer implementation cycle. 1, I believe that we can have improved data migration accuracy and completeness. By taking a longer timeline, we can allow thorough data extraction. We get to clean, map, and validate. We get to reduce the risk of errors. We get to figure out missing records or corrupted data. It provides ample time to test data imports in a sandbox environment and resolve issues. We're going to ensure patient records, billing, and clinical notes are all accurately transferred, accessible. They're not corrupted. What if you went live and you found out that all the data was corrupted? How would that impact you? It also, second benefit is we're going to have enhanced staff training, workflow adaption. We're going to get to adapt to new workflows and train staff in time. Extending the time enables comprehensive role-specific training sessions, hands-on practice, helping staff become proficient with the new EMR's interface and workflows. It allows for iterative feedback and follow-up training, minimizing our disruption to patient care, reducing errors due to staff unfamiliarity. And the third one is we're going to minimize our financial and operational disruptions. A longer transition facilitates proactive payer enrollment, EDI and ERA testing, claim backlog resolution, and reducing the likelihood of billing delays and cash flow disruptions. It supports parallel operations so that we have contingency planning, ensuring continuity of operations, patient care during that go-live phase, and it can make a huge difference. Did you know a 2023 KLAS research report found that private practices completing EMR transitions in 60 days or longer experienced 40% less disruption? That included disruption in patient scheduling, billing, and it resulted in revenue loss of only 5% during the transition compared to 12% for transitions under 60 days. That's saving an average of 70% for our practice with $1 million in annual revenue. That can make an impact. So in the words of Jean-Jacques Rousseau, our Enlightenment philosopher, patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Thank you so much for tuning in to this quick tip episode. I hope that you'll join us next time, and don't forget, together we can thrive, not just survive. Thank you for tuning in to the Private Practice Survival Guide podcast. I'm incredibly grateful to each and every one of you. Exciting news. We're now available everywhere, from Spotify to Apple Podcasts to YouTube or anywhere you like to listen to your podcasts. So watch, listen, and reach out. If you love this episode, please drop a 5-star review. It truly means the world to me. Are you looking for more ways to elevate your practice? If so, now is your chance. Reach out, go to my website, or email me at brandon@wellnessworksmp.com. And remember, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving.